Hey friends, it's me, What is Kiss, aka Nathaniel Kiss, ready for another episode and session of Alabaster Kingdom. We're playing a 5e horror actual play of the Dungeons and Dragons dice game. That's the actual name, Dungeons and Dragons and Dice game. And I got some awesome people that I want to play with and introduce you to. But I think it's better if they introduce themselves to you. So how about they do that?
Oh, we starting with me, I guess. I am Chantel B. You can find me on Twitter at Chantel B. And today, time zones, I am playing Lailai, the grassland druid, whose pronouns are they, them. My pronouns also are they, them.
Hi, my name is Laron. Pronouns he, him. I'm playing Wallace Bullheart. Pronouns also he, him. The Minotaur Draconic Fighter. And you can find me at Twitter at READUS_1, 1, and YouTube at youtube.com/Readus101.
Howdy. My name is Courtney. Pronouns they, them. I play Barnaby. Pronouns he, him. He, him, himbo. You can find me on the internet at Sparkly Kiss on literally every single platform. I tend to call dibs first. So if you find a Sparkly Kiss, that's likely me. We should be friends. Hi.
I believe that leaves us with me. Hi, my name is Jordan Ali. My pronouns are he, him. Today I'm playing Coh'Jak Satya, whose pronouns are he, they. Last we saw Coh'Jak. Well, we learned some stuff. I'll leave it at that.
And we did, and we'll learn some more stuff too. Once again, I'm your dungeon manager for this game, Nathaniel Kiss. Pronouns are he and they, so let's play this game. When we last left off, our party arrived to a village at the base of a mountain. In the village, they witnessed people who were affected by a curse, the same curse that our players were also following the tracks on, and spent many years and much of their own time trying to find the source of this curse and put a stop to it. While in the town, they discovered some more clues, as well as running into someone who was in distress, a hunter named Derek who seemed to have lost someone, as well as a few thoughts and memories up the mountain. The players proceeded up that same mountain and discovered some other unsettling things, the smell of death and undeath, as well as an abandoned mine that seemed to have other things operating inside of it. Our players travel through discovering weird devices and alien technology until they finally came to a door with a lock that requires the key of death. So that's where we'll begin. The door at the end of the hall lies in front of you. The lock, through Coh'Jak's eyes, you can see that this very sinister magic that's been implemented into this device whisper rounds the key to the lock. And Coh'Jak kind of looks at the lock and looks back down at the slumped over, almost like drained body in the corner.
Well, I wonder if it worked for them.
Who did it?
I see a dead body. I see a door, and you forgive me if I just immediately assume the worst.
Could Barnaby go up and see how this person died if it was by weapons?
Of course. Would you like to use an investigation or a medicine check?
We are going to go with medicine.
Okay. Dr. Barnaby.
Wow. 3.
Barnaby.
I've been stabbed with many blades, but I don't know what that looks like, I guess.
From what you can tell, they're not bleeding out. Someone must have punched them real hard or hit them with something, perhaps a big rock. But there aren't that many big loose rocks around here. They could have used a rock from outside and brought it in with them.
Do you want?
These are the thoughts that kind of go back and forth through Barnaby's head.
Do you want me to try and give it a shot? I'm no great shakes in medicine, but I'm gonna try anyway.
Oh, were you asking me or Barnaby?
I was asking Barnaby, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, I rolled a 6. So I clearly know all the things. I'm super smart.
We're
Tell me
both
all
just
the-
kind of like poking him with a stick.
What would have been Coh'Jak's first move to check the body?
Honestly, literally, knowing that they're not bleeding out, I'd probably creep down, give them a quick glance over, and then, because I've seen this at work before, open the mouth.
The teeth are humanoid. They do not appear to have been shaven, or there don't seem to be any enlarged canines or incisors. The bicuspids seem quite natural.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is the color of the tongue and the roof of the mouth normal?
Everything except for any tent cue of life. The flesh appears to have been dead, not decayed, just dead.
Well, it's dead. You do know that.
So I'm watching Barnaby and Coh'Jak mess with this cadaver, and I see Coh'Jak actually inspect the inside of its mouth, and I just instinctively just reach to put my hands in my pockets, and then realize that I don't have pockets in my pants, and then I just decide to tuck them under my arms while watching.
Last we saw Lailai, they had turned into crystal Lailai. They had lost all color, tone, anything that marked them as really a person beyond humanoid, really. And they were speaking with every voice that they'd ever heard. Which, just to clarify, includes all of the voices in the party. So Lailai is going to head over to the body, and I'd like to roll Arcana to see if anything magical has been done to
Can I help
end
out
this
with that?
life.
Kiss.
Of course. How would you like to help?
Once I realized that Lailai's doing Arcana stuff, I've got Detect Magic on. I always do. It's one of my classic things. So I'm both keeping an eye on them, and I'm also without ever looking Lailai in the eyes. I'm maybe you should try that. Maybe, oh, that's a good idea. Being a sounding board and trying to see if I'm noticing anything special just because magic's on.
Okay. So yeah, get to roll Arcana at advantage.
Cool. Okay. Okay, so that's a 15 with advantage.
Wonderful. Looking at the body, there does not to appear to be any magical damage done to them at all, or anything that seems to have been the immediate cause of death. What you do discover, however, is that their neck is broken.
Ah.
And it doesn't appear to have been that long ago. The immediate discoloration of the body seems odd, but you don't sense any magic. But looking back at this body in the corner and the lock, you, with the help of Coh'Jak, are able to put together that this was probably used as a temporary key.
A temporary key. That's
Someone,
pretty permanent.
A temporary key to open that door.
someone brought this poor sucker here just to murder him, to get inside that thing.
Yes.
Is anyone good at resurrection by any chance?
Are you intending to resurrect this person just to slay them again?
So
Coh'Jak?
I want on record that no, I am not. But also, did Coh'Jak say that bit about that out loud?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you get to hear that. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
I was thinking one of us could, well, worst comes to worst, we could, as long as we were dead for long enough.
What does that even mean?
I think Coh'Jak's volunteering, so go right ahead, friend.
Coh'Jak's volunteer for what?
To
Volunteering
open
for
the
what?
door.
To die.
Yeah, you seem... Barnaby would just look him up and down. You seem pretty interested in exiting this place one way or another. By all means, friend. And then
So-
lean back against the wall.
So we're just not going to take a minute and actually digest what that actually means. We're just going to immediately, we just need to. We need Death to open up the door. Oh, I'll volunteer. Do you realize how that sounds?
It's
I didn't
preferable to the
volunteer.
idea of resurrecting this dead body
Bonnie
of a
and
person
I
we
help
don't
you.
know just to kill them again. I'm just saying. I've seen what magic swords have done before, and I
mean-
cannot help but be a bit suspicious.
You could resurrect them anyway.
As long as you keep them resurrected,
I don't have that capability.
then I don't think there's any point in messing with this person's life after death. There has to be a different way. I'm with Wallace on this one, and then Barnaby would just kind of shift to put Coh'Jak behind his shoulder and look at Wallace to come up with a solution.
Wallace is going to notice the visual that Barnaby is given and just immediately become flustered and just look back and forth between the party and the door, and the party and the door is just.
Kiss, can I roll survival to see if I can find any creatures around here?
Yes,
Yeah.
you may.
Bunny rabbit, you know?
Yes, you may.
That's
In a
a 22.
mine. A bunny
22?
rabbit in a mine.
I would feel like after kind of being back turned to Barnaby, there's a moment for Coh'Jak to kind of take a step back. And in doing so, you do hear some skittering some ways behind you. If Coh'Jak follows, they would be led not that far away from everyone else. With the sort of unnatural presence that exists here on this mountain, there hasn't been that much in the ways of a lot of just like fauna hanging out and just like moving a place to place, but you do find a few bats that have taken advantage of the now opened shaft that you've opened up a while back, and they found themselves deep down finding some warmth away from the harsh wind of the mountain outside. It wouldn't be too much for you to get up there and take them.
Well, I tried to find the oldest bat. You know, one with glasses, maybe one that's like lived its life.
The oldest one probably flew away to get some food for the rest of these.
The second oldest one.
Oh, that one's watching the rest of them. It was put in charge, but sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and grab that bat. Good Lord, what have we come to?
You know what? It's not even that bad. Like a couple of months ago, there were some other bats. It was a mama bat and a papa bat with a little bat baby, and they were leaving a movie, and someone shot the bat mama and the bat papa.
I hate you.
Now that poor child is just a sad rich man who doesn't do anything.
Who stalks the streets at night as
A
Bullet
man.
Man.
Was Mama Bat's pearl necklace at least okay?
No, it was ruined.
His arch nemesis is a hyena.
Why did you say Mothra?
I quit. I quit this campaign. I am done.
Coh'Jak comes back with a bat.
You always think it's going to be horror. Like, when you think think of horror, you never think of, like, this kind of horror.
No, not at all. Now there is a bat, man. See, I saved it. We can continue playing now.
All right.
Saved it.
When I
Party
heard,
on, Wayne.
It's hilarious though that when I heard Coh'Jak comes with a bat, I saw myself with the baseball bat. I knew what was happening. Yet it's Coh'Jak with a bat. I come with a bat. We could give it a shot.
I'm having a hard time following what do you...
It takes death. Wallace, you need to kill something to walk through that door.
So, I want to assume that Wallace, with this information, and you did say, DM, that there's a human-shaped hole by the door, or at least nearby, or am I misunderstanding?
Oh, the body, the humanoid that was found, the body,
Right.
was huddled over in the corner by the door.
I see. Okay.
Happy to help. There's no hole, there's just a body. The human is the body. The dead body. The dead body near the door, that body.
We've gotten the
dead
part
body.
about the dead body. Coh'Jak, we got it. We understand.
A recent dead body, which means someone's gone through.
Recently. So
That
unless
part I
someone was-
didn't know.
Recently enough.
Yeah. If someone wants to volunteer, otherwise, poor Brucey Boys here is gonna...
Why would you give it a name?
Why would you give it a name?
Only for
And
us
why
to
would you give
forget.
it the wrong name?
Oh, the wrong name.
Wrong
What have you asked?
Let's not talk about death anymore, and let's just do it if we're going to do it. And Wallace is at this point just starting to get visibly irritated and just like agitated.
Player clarification question: does the Death Chattel work on creatures?
I was about to ask. Did we forget why we've done it?
It does not target any beast or animals or anything of that category.
Oh god, but that's so sad. That means like when someone dies, their dog keeps on visiting their grave and everyone else has forgotten about them.
I was going to make a Batacori pun, but okay. Jump to that.
You remember that episode of Futurama?
Why are we like this?
the one with the Harlem Globetrotters? Yeah, that's the real sad one. Coh'Jak, what do you do with the bat?
I'm gonna double check just for do I get the idea that this will likely open the door?
This will open the door.
Sorry, little one.
You just use your hands. Okay.
Just like that, you hear a small crack. Coh'Jak, you in your hands, the warmth from this creature, still moving around, trying to escape, which was very different. The entire process of you kind of plucking it and bringing it down, it seemed not necessarily that alert. The moment just before is when it really started kind of squeaking and wriggling, trying to get free until nothing. Once the stillness kind of sets in, you all hear a hissing noise coming from the door as the runes on it start to turn with a low rumble as another set of locks start turning in an opposite way. The grating of the stone and the bars of metal loosening start to create this low rhythmic sort of almost chanting. It lasts for about 15 seconds before the lock releases one more hiss. How are you all positioned?
I'm right in front of the door holding a dead bat.
Barnaby has seen many a body and has slain many people, but even this was a little much for him, so he is as far back as he could be.
Okay. Who would, and we just have Lailai and Wallace in the middle?
I'd
Lailai
assume.
is off to one side, looking at the bat. Not looking at the door, looking at the bat.
And Wallace would probably be behind Lailai.
Cool. So it's Coh'Jak, Lailai, Wallace, Barnaby. Awesome. Meanwhile, the other side of the door opens up. The hiss is then met with a very an abrupt push. The entire rhythmic and this sort of like ritualistic routine of this lock being undone and opening is just interrupted as you see the door swung open with a voice coming in from the other side being more clear of, well, I don't think that anything could just knock it over and just ruin the... As the door completely opens, you see a figure turn to you, clad in an outfit, a uniform almost, helmet that sits right on top of the face that kind of drops off right below the chin, with a high collar that comes down with blue trims that goes all the way down, this very sort of light, almost like pewter marl like sort of coated jacket, the same color in the pants, with very thick, heavy leather boots that seem almost a polished marble stone. They turn around, and with all the details on their helmet, the full face with this full sort of crystalline visor, behind it you see two blue glowing orbs. The face with these two glowing orbs looks at you all. The orbs widen and they blink for a sec before turning and starting to run, screaming. With that being said, what are your character's reactions, starting with Coh'Jak?
Oh no, not. I'm gonna Misty Step right in front of it.
I love it. And the rules for Misty Step, you can move 30 feet as a bonus action.
30 feet as a bonus action to an unoccupied space that I can see.
You do so. Past the door, you can see into a small hallway that leads into a bigger room. It falls into this thing of the deeper y'all have gone in, the less sort of organic these rooms have become, where there are entire like machinations built in that seem to have been just like shunted into the space inside of the mountain. These hallways are now sort of donned with these like low lights with these sort of like pulsating blue on each ends of the corner past this door of death. And as you go in, the floor itself turns from that sort of grainy, gravelly, minerally bedrock that you all pretty much been standing on into a very almost frictionless, it seemed like, polished stone floor. You have some options into how far you want to go in. You can go past this minor hallway into a bigger room where you see a bigger piece of machinery in the middle of it. And there is a very, very bright magical hum coming from it. Not close enough that you'll be able to detect exactly what it is, but closer.
I just want to go far enough that he accidentally may run into me.
Fair enough. You misty step 10 feet.
I swirl around and pull my glaive on him. Like, my kilt just kind of like flays out around me, so there's a flash of like really furry thigh.
Ooh.
Before there's a blade poking right in their face.
Awesome. Barnaby, what is your reaction when you see this?
So Barnaby's weapon would have been propped up against the wall for a second. He would reach for it and then reach under his vest, and you like see he's got these two black bands. That's because he like has like a boomerang under there. So he pulls that out and he just runs forward because he wants to know who this is, and he gets ready to throw a boomerang at the armored dude in a suit.
Awesome. Wallace.
All right. So if you could remind me of how the helmet looks that they
Of
were
course. It pretty much think of like a motorcycle helmet.
wearing. Right.
So comes down low with like a crystalline visor that you
Gotcha.
can appear.
Gotcha.
Moves back and forth.
So at first glance, I see what they're wearing, and it's like, and in my head, I'm like, so I see where they're going with this, but it's just I don't know if it's for strictly fashion or if it's all function. And then they turn. I was like, oh, I see. They think it's for fashion, and then I noticed the blaring blue eyes, and I'm like, oh, this is not the right time to think about this. And then I immediately see Barnaby just run past. It's like, this is definitely not the time to think about this. And so I pull out my battle axe and I give it at least 3 twirls before I catch it. So it goes and just hold on to it on the 4th. And upon the 4th, it becomes set aflame. And that's because in that 4th twirl in the mountain with my hand, I pretty much cast a flame blade upon the metal bits.
Oh. And Lailai.
Lailai is going to cast Primal Savagery because we don't know what this is. And they're feline claws, but hey, crystal version, so they are crystalline feline claws. because theme. And Lailai takes a couple of steps into the hall toward the person, but that's largely it.
Cool. No one's attacking. Everyone seems to just be readying and in action at this point. Cool. You all move, and in this sort of brief moment, they're stopped, still yelling, "Go through! Go through! Forget about me! Go through!" As Coh'Jak appears in front of them. Barnaby closes the distance in behind them. Barnaby, I assume you run past Wallace.
Absolutely. Takes like a half second to look at him, but is
Wink. And Lailai, are you also moving in with Barnaby?
Yes.
Cool. You all have this being surrounded. So let's roll first some initiative.
Yay, initiative.
That is the best that I've rolled on digital dice since this Pamela Isley has started.
Damn.
I'm content with my 6. Me and Lailai.
Yeah. We move fast, but then we stand and we look.
Okay, and give me those initiative numbers.
Well, we
6.
got Wallace
that?
up front with it. We got Wallace up front with a full 20. That's not a natural 20. It's just a dirty 20. And then we got me right behind with an 18. After that, Lailai and Barnaby backing up the group at a 6. Perfectly tied.
Sometimes you have to wait for beauty, and that's the two of us.
Exactly.
I mean, have you seen this face?
Yeah, but we're having the slow glow up of a century over here.
Okay. So,
I don't know why
Boom,
I decided
boom.
to announce them like we were at a horse race.
Right. The initiative tracker is amazing, Joe. Let's see where it tracks out.
all right, Coh'Jak, you're up first. What would you like to do, my friend?
I'm up first. Oh, okay.
Wait, I skipped Wallace already?
Yeah.
No, Wallace, you're up first.
You did skip me already.
That's weird how that works.
That's only because Wallace is so incredibly cautious. He just
This
is
is
like,
true.
I abstain.
Just watch me go through all this effort and for Laurent to say, yeah, Wallace does abstain, actually.
All right. So we got Coh'Jak holding one off, or like, if you could just refresh my memory of where
Right now, it's the 4 of you surrounding one person.
just one. Okay, and you. I don't know. Maybe it's the curse affecting me in real life. Did you say that there were like constructs, or was I just going off of some weird stuff?
Earlier, that was mentioned regarding the rules of the door.
Okay,
Of
right.
what would be affected. Constructs would not constitute as dying.
Gotcha.
So that wouldn't unlock the door.
Okay, so it is just one person.
That you see, yes.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then Wallace is actually going to catch up to where Coh'Jak is, so that he's kind of has the guy sandwiched in the middle. Mm-hmm. So it's like Coh'Jak and so he's between, so that this individual's between Coh'Jak and I. And
So
if
we made
anything,
a manwich?
nothing has dripped off the buns yet, but it is there. And I'm going to hold my turn. I'm going to hold my action in case he does anything funny, even though he's between a bull and a hard place.
Obviously. And for the record, since we can't use the trademark manwich, it's just a sloppy co.
Sakako. I like it.
So next,
That could mean something completely different, but I like it.
we'll see what happens when it's Coh'Jak next.
I'd like to actually do an investigation check.
All right.
Or
Would you like
maybe
to
an
roll?
insight check. I'm not sure which one, but I want to determine as best I can, as much as I can about this person. And, crucially, he was yelling at some people. Does he expect a lot more people further in?
Well, if you would like to know something about this individual in particular, give me an insight roll. If you would like to know about who they were trying to alert or what they were talking to, give me an investigation roll.
I am better at investigation, so I will do the investigation roll as much as I want to know more about them. 23. These are digital dice, y'all. This is not me fudging numbers.
It's
This is
true.
just what the dice determined that I deserve.
Oh man, I gotta give you information I wrote down. What a bummer. It's not gonna go to waste. Behind you and at the other end of this short hallway, you still see the shadow being created from the light just flickering and pulsing from behind you. Not the smaller sources in the corners of the hallway that you are now in the room beyond. That large source of magical energy that you were just able to catch a glimpse of before, what you are feeling and what you have so far kind of like sense is just the heat from a fire from the other end of a room. It's that hot. It's that powerful. It's that immense. And it's crackling. It feels like it's getting it's growing somewhat.
Great.
But from that same shadow that it's cast, you see several shadows move your way.
Great.
What else would you like to do for this turn?
So that was my action, I'm assuming?
Yeah, we'll call that an action. You get another bonus action.
Nope. I'm just gonna wait for a possible opportunity attack and hope things don't go bad.
All right. And next up is this person who you both have surrounded. Seeing that they are now going to be a pincer maneuver, they look at Coh'Jak, and actually, because you spent your entire action investigating this sort of light with like your supernatural magical energy, give me that insight roll too.
Ooh, I'd love to. 20. Dirty 20.
Even though they have this mask from this helmet still over their face, and you can barely see, anything beyond like the very ends of their chin and what isn't being covered by their high collar, you are able to grasp a sense of terror that slowly subsides to a curiosity as their voice calling to these unknown comrades behind you kind of turns up as they take you in. They're trying to figure out what you are. You also see that they're grabbing for something from behind their lapel. And they grab what appears to be 3 very smoothed out crystals. Your eyes catch them immediately. Your detect magic eyes are instantly able to decipher that these hold some evocation magic in them. They don't look like anything that you've been taught to use as a spell focus or any sort of like magical foci or components, but just 3 almost perfect crystallized spheres that they grab between several digits and throw down at their feet. I need all the characters that are within 15 feet of this individual. So that's Coh'Jak. Is that Barnaby too?
Yes.
And Lailai? To give me
Yeah.
a dexterity save
Oh no.
as the orbs collapse to the ground, immediately detonating at their feet.
13.
That would also count for me, correct?
Are you within...
I'm like right. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You close the distance? Yes, all 4 of you then.
Can I get advantage for being super cool?
No, you can get disadvantage for being super close.
That is.
I'm okay with not getting that
8.
disadvantage.
That is an 8. However,
Yes.
I did say I was going to hold my action in case he did anything funny.
Yes.
So, if it possible, is it possible for me to instinctively, even though I have a battle axe in one hand, I have another hand free.
What do you see?
I see him. I want to say that upon seeing him reach for those crystals, I just want to use my free hand to just do a quick pachow and just do a firebolt straight for the hand.
You do a ka-chow like a Lightning McQueen. All right, try to hit him.
All right, just 1 second. Oh, that's a natural 2 for 6. So unless he really sucks, unless he's really bad.
No, this is perfect. This is perfect.
More of a
because right when they get these out and they have their hand about to drop them, Wallace is able to unleash a firebolt, passes right by Lailai, just singes the very the side of whatever crystal is there. If there's still any vines attached to Lailai, or if they become crystal at all, they might be a little bit singed. A little fur, a little hair, that little smell of burnt hair fills Barnaby's nose as this ball of fire comes right past him. And this individual who now has these 3 crystals in their hand turns back as... What color is your flame? Is it just regular fire?
It's just regular fire.
As this blazing crimson orb comes at them and connects with their hand, igniting the 3 crystals, causing an even bigger explosion. What are those dexterity saves?
19.
13, but now I'm hotter than I was before.
That's dangerous.
It was an 8.
19, 13, 8, and Coh'Jak?
I got a 16.
16. All right. For all of you who had 13 and higher, you take half damage. Anyone less than 13, you take a full 16 points of fire damage. And those very compact halls, this blast fills the entire area. The tunnel-like effect makes trying to get out of the way or obscuring behind anything very difficult. But the remnants that's left after the radius of the blast, it's just you 4, the door, and the ashes. That's when you hear it. A low boom and a rumble coming from the entrance side of the cave.
There's shadows behind us. Turn around right now. I speak to Wallace very quietly.
This will put you out of initiative for just a bit. If Wallace and Coh'Jak would like to spend these next 2 turns moving forward towards whatever's coming your way, you can keep it and keep these initiative. Oh no, it's Lailai's turn and Barnaby's turn next. Actually, this is perfect then. We can just end initiative right here. knowing that something else will probably start soon if you stay here, or you might be able to catch something if you move forward. What would you all like to do?
Lailai's reaction was going to immediately be to move forward anyway, so...
I was also going to bolt. Yeah.
At least you're not fire bolting. One of us already made that mistake.
Coh'Jak is actually perfectly fine. Unfortunately, one of the spirits that are protecting him, there was like a brief flash of light, and then they disappeared. Because 10 hit points are gone now. Well, actually, still have 7 10 hit points.
Okay, so you're still at 28 total?
Yeah, Coh'Jak
Cool.
is fine. So I turn around and I quickly say, are we attacking the shadow thing, or are we just running through? And I'm already like taking steps in a direction.
All right. As you all continue down, the next room opens up, and from whatever you were catching, just that very tail end sort of like wisp of energy and power coming from, you see the whole thing. In the center of this room, you see several more of these similarly sort of just uniformed type of folks inside, surrounding another huge magical apparatus. Inside, it's this sort of twisting, winding energy of several different forces, some from wires, other from component-like materials. And not that far off, you see what could only be described as like industrialized cattle shippers on another end. Shipping containers, not shippers. Like, I want this cow to kiss this cow.
We're already working on that.
It's called beautiful. Okay. But there are all of these things are kind of set up, and then right behind you see a giant sort of a window. It is a very neatly cropped out piece of space removed. And it's pretty much as if you drew a picture of where you are right here, and then a picture of what you are all looking at on another side of the paper, on a different piece of paper, and two people just put them together. Where if you were to look around or catch beyond the other side, it's just whatever exists. But if you were to look through it, it would be as if you could go through. If that makes sense. It's a window. But there are also 3 more guards.
Yeah, I vote to run. I'm just... Wallace is going to take into consideration what Coh'Jak said about the shadows behind us, but at the same time also see Lailai and Barnaby run. And then, if anything, he's just going to just, as if to not bring more attention to themselves, he's just going to look at Coh'Jak and just do like the And then he's going to take off after the other 2.
So we're running here through this area. There are people. Will they see us run past them?
It seems they are preparing for someone to come through into view.
A direction that we could not pass by while we're running through. I think
If you were... Oh, sorry. What was that?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just to clarify, if you were all continuing to go through the same corridor you're going through, you would eventually run into their sight line.
I'm going to
Gotcha.
pick the exact
The
opposite.
only thing.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to go the opposite way.
No, I'm going to make a gigantic roar happen from the opposite way, so they all turn to look in the opposite direction. Minor illusion.
Oh. All right.
It can last for a minute.
All right. And a noise just appears behind them. Does it sound like anything in particular?
It sounds like the final battle. Not a final battle, but the specific final battle that Coh'Jak had.
Cool. Meaning what? The specific.
It means a bunch. There are several voices, around 5 or 6, screaming out as they're charging forward, coming from that direction. One of them is definitely Coh'Jak's, although maybe you're not able to tell. But there are 2 others that would be very familiar to anyone listening closely too, because we've already heard them.
So it sounds like.
Lailai.
Gotcha. So there's 7 people yelling from behind them.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. Can you roll me an intimidation check at advantage?
I'd love to. Thank goodness for that advantage. 15.
Wonderful. The sounds of these foreign yet phantom voices just arouse from behind them. And you are easily able to hear sort of this quick manic bickering between the 2, deciding if what happened out here came in to get them. They have no chill right now. They are freaking out.
May I roll a perception check to see if
Yes, you may.
Lailai hears the distinct voices? Oh, yeah. That's a 23. Lailai hears those distinct voices.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. Through just this current state of absolute panic, you hear them pick up. What happened to him? You heard the explosion. He's dead. But what happened to him? Do you really want to stick around and find out? Well, not if you do. This goes back and forth. Lailai, you then hear the sound of something drop, followed by 2 sets of footsteps. The footsteps then disappear.
You know what's really, really funny? I asked if I could roll to hear the distinct voices. I was talking about the illusory voices. I have now got 2 sets of information.
You don't hear those voices at all. Nope. It's too much. These other 2 are too loud. Hey, ever try watching like that genre of movie of white people whispering very intensely? If you're trying to watch like Hereditary, you couldn't hear this. If you're trying to watch Doubt, you couldn't hear that. We're trying to watch like Water for Chocolate, you can't hear them. These 2 are freaking out. What do you mean you're trying to watch Beaches? You can't hear that scene. Bette Midler putting her entire
The genre of movie. The
whole genre.
What's funny is that I'm only familiar with one of those 4.
And yet now you know them all, right?
I felt like you were talking about me because I whispered through an entirety of A Quiet Place.
Oh, we ain't ever gonna be invited back to this.
Lailai, you do hear 2 voices, and I'm going to give you a gift. Okay, the first gift is one of the voices sounds like this, and it's a fighter, and the other voice has kind of like a very deep and low drawl to it. And I'm not sure what the class of that one is. You get to pick for that one. But the fighter sounds like this.
Yes, that's exactly what fighters sound like.
That's exactly what that fighter sounds like.
The
That
fighter
cider
and apparently Big the cat.
Laron, they all sound like that. Every single fighter has that exact
Every
same.
single
You know what? I was thinking about going that route because I do have a couple of levels, but it's like let me try something different. Let me be off the cusp.
The voice really kicks in at level 3 of fighter.
That's fair. That's
Right.
fair. That's fair. And I
The
went a
voice
completely different route before I got there.
Lailai, once you hear that the 2 sets of footprints are gone, or the 2 sets of footsteps are gone, all that's left is that slow crackling and humming, followed by another coming from the entrance side of the cave.
There's no going back. But they've gone. Worked.
Let's keep moving. Why are you looking at me like that?
Coh'Jak, do you go alone? Or rather, does everyone else follow Coh'Jak, I should say?
Well, I mean, I don't need an entourage. So if you don't want to join me, it's okay. I can go by myself.
Fair enough. You get a better view of what's inside the room, and it's pretty big and spacious. The giant window that you see of how it's set off, there is this weird effect where there is a bit of a bleed and it kind of blurs together with this main image it seems to be depicting. And the actual sort of physical space that you are currently occupying. On each of the corners of this mirror that's set up kind of like a square, there are 4 devices that seem to be holding it open. And these 4 devices, through the different wires and connectors that are attached to all of these partial mechanical, partial arcane devices, seem to be coming from the giant source of energy that these guards in this mine seem to have been protecting. And as you get close to it, and as you once again set your eyes on it, and you see the different types of magic weaving into it, you feel that very sort of like bitter tinge of like necromancy. You feel another bit of like some conjuration magic kind of pulling you towards it. There's a swirl of something else included as well, but as you get closer and closer to it, it doesn't get louder and brighter and hotter. It gets softer, calmer. It sort of acts as some sort of a sound sink. Everything else around you becomes more deafened and still, and it whips around violently before you, and it seems as if you are in a complete, almost sensory deprived space. What do you do, Coh'Jak?
I reach out a hand behind me and I wave everyone else in, if they can see it. I need to investigate this. I need to figure out, what is this power source?
Can Barnaby look around and make sure that this room is completely empty? There's no stragglers, no lurkers.
All of you, I'm going to go down the line. Coh'Jak, did you want to do an investigation roll, or did you want to do something else?
Investigate would be great.
Barnaby,
but
and
I
you're
would
going to be
suck
next. All right, we'll do Coh'Jak first. Everyone else, you can roll now and or decide your rolls. Coh'Jak, give me that investigation roll, my friend.
9.
Okay. From what you do know and are able to put together, you see all the different types and sources of magic coming together in this single space and then spreading out to power these four corners that keeps this window open. And you trying to follow to see where all these other wires go to, and you kind of get lost from that moment. But whatever this is seems to be running a lot of this in here. Anything else you wanted to see?
How do I shut it off?
That you do not know. Barnaby.
I feel like Barnaby just wants to kind of case the room, if you will, because while Coh'Jak wants to know what this is, what's more important to Barnaby is who are these people? And Barnaby is a little frustrated that we didn't get to ask anyone any questions or interrogate. He was ready to fight. He was looking to fight. So he's definitely looking around this space and not being very eloquent about it. The type of like just banging over a barrel, kicking a crate out of the way, just looking for something, anything.
Absolutely. Without like a jacket that seemed to be like the main uniform amongst one of them that was left behind, there are no other personal effects. The large magic vat with the MacGuffin energy in there is going. Everything else around just seems to be much like the devices you found in the hall a while back. You look through them. There's a series of maps, once again showing locations of what appears to be other planes. Is there anything in particular you wanted to look for? And if so, give me an investigation check as well.
Yeah,
But generally,
just-
it's a pretty...
if they have like any sort of like things on their jackets, like indicating rank, badges, wallets, investigation check of 13.
You do find one thing. On the lapel of the jacket, you see a pen. And the pen has the name Kyle Ethan Ivan. Embrace your identity. The lettering is a bit weird, but the phrasing of the language seems common enough that you are easily able to decipher what it is. Wallace, what do you got for me?
Well, upon seeing Coh'Jak signal to everybody that it is okay to advance, he's going to take a quick glance, and you said that there was more bits and baubles and things to investigate inside.
Gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
Yes. I want to Wallace wants to make sure that, because he notices that Barnaby is exploring the area that we were initially in. He wants to make sure that when Barnaby is in fact ready to advance, that there won't be any triggers in this room for him. So he's going to go and see if there's anything that he knows will possibly set him off, and try and take care of that in advance. And if need be, try and see what makes him tick in order to properly take it off, in order to properly flip the switch off, and also make sure it's not of any value to us.
I'll let you choose. What stat you think this would be most appropriate for Wallace? Would Wallace be able to tell what it is, or probably one of the causes of some of the things that does irritate or trigger Barnaby?
Considering what he knows about, or what he has come to believe about Barnaby's triggers, it's always the last moment that he notices something, and it's always too late. But like in the room before, when he had his episode, there was a flash, and a particular flash, and just want to make sure that if there's anything resembling that, this is in character, me saying out of character that I don't remember the specifics of what.
That was no, that was just me giving you a pass if like if you wanted to fill in any
Right.
interactions or relationships between you and Barnaby.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I said, every time it's happened, it's always just one step. Just one step short of actually doing anything to actually help, and it's always the aftercare. So he wants to try and nip that in the bud before anything happens.
Absolutely. With no check needed, and just from kind of like putting that together and through the connection you have with Barnaby, the one device that Barnaby interacted with in particular, you see other ones like that. 4 that were in the hallway you were all in, the one that went boom, they are no longer active as well. There's one more on the other side of that window.
Is it active? Can I see it from where I am, or would I need to advance?
You would have to go towards the window.
All right. Yeah, I'll go toward the window.
Cool. And Lailai.
There's a whole lot on Lailai's mind at the moment. But Lailai's interested in... There's a lot that doesn't fit the natural order of perception. So it's almost like Lailai wants to understand what the boundary is where that sound sync starts to happen, like what that is and how that works and what's going on there. Yeah.
When Lailai walks in and kind of gets the entire view of the room, Barnaby goes over and kind of looks over at this jacket. They tries to try it on when no one else is looking, and their arm just kind of rips it, so they kind of take it off and they find a pen. Wallace is looking at Barnaby, but also kind of looking back at the hallway, which is now completely in ruins and ashes. And then over back at Barnaby, and then starts to head over towards the window, and you see Coh'Jak approach this giant glowing magical thing that catches your eye too. And as you walk close to it, you get that same sort of swirling sensation of effects that Coh'Jak had described to them as well. And the closer you get to it, you're further away from it at this point than Coh'Jak is, but once it's kind of in your view, it starts having that same, all other sound around it seems to kind of dull out. You have a sense of complete calm, just awash all over you. The closer you get to approach it, the more and the more you feel it. You're not being drawn to it as if you're under the spell of anything, but it's just how this thing feels. You all hear another boom. This one's much closer. Also coming from the entrance side of the cave.
Barnaby would take pause and look to the explosion and then look at the window thing, gripping his boomerang, thinking about throwing it, and instead just tucks it away and says, we shouldn't leave danger behind us. We don't know what's ahead, but we do know what's back there. I'll be back. And then he just kind of struts to investigate the boom.
But Bonnet, wait, no, and then I take off after him.
Coh'Jak, Lailai, you are still next to this giant, very magical device. I need you both to give me a perception check. You're more than welcome to use your passive perception too.
19.
18.
Perfect. You both look into this, and I feel it's that same thing of you both sense the world differently. Coh'Jak through the basis and the breakdown of the magical makeup of everything. Lailai through the natural, the sort of connected network of all living beings and creatures that kind of like coexist together. Um, However, both of your senses cross over, and the both of you see some of the same figures. Coh'Jak, to you, you see faces that just ring in a sense of belonging. Briefly, but repeatedly. Lailai, the same for you. A flash of an image, a flash of another. Another face is with this one you don't recognize as well, then another face, and then you're there with these faces, and then you see an entire picture, an entire scene. Enough of these flashes come together that these scenes start moving in sequence, and all of a sudden Lailai looks over at Coh'Jak through like the other side of this giant sort of like magical crystal thing. It's transparent enough that you can see each other and see the magic inside. Your faces are kind of a little warped. That's just the optical illusion. But nonetheless, something's happening. And all of a sudden, you both see your party members in there.
What on earth? What is this thing?
A light golden outline starts to cover Coh'Jak. Lailai, your body responds in the same way. You're both enveiled in this golden halo.
Cue the Beyonce soundtrack.
Meanwhile, at the other end of the cave, Barnaby's charging off, running back through the rooms, running up through the hallways. Every 30 seconds, Barnaby, you hear a louder explosion. Wallace, you eventually catch up to Barnaby. You hear the same thing. And as you are both running, what's going on? What's going through your heads?
You can't just take off. You can't just take off like that.
I want it to be noted that Barnaby has to slow down a little bit so that we can keep in pace with Wallace. And then he would say, I do this because you know I care about you, right? And he winks and then increases his pace a little bit, encouraging Wallace to keep up.
That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
The next explosion, loud, this time starts to shake the current room that you're in. A wave of dust and debris starts to come down the shaft that you guys already traversed before. It starts to fill the room that you're currently in.
Bonnie, I don't know if coming back here was such a good idea.
It's wild to me that they would cave in their own secrets. You think this stuff would be valuable to them, whatever the hell they're doing. I'll admit, I think I have made a mistake. And Barnaby lets down his guard because it's just him and Wallace.
You didn't make a mistake. You just... You heard a sound and you went to investigate, but there are other people in the party. We have to take into consideration that they're just as worried about you as I am.
I appreciate that, Wallace. And Barnaby would reach out with his hand and kind of cup his hand on his shoulder and give it a little squeeze. What do you say we race back? You can start
It's always a race with you. And then he gives your hand a quick squeeze back before turning around.
The moment that Wallace squeezes Barnaby's hand, the room starts shaking. As you feel and hear a rumbling crawl towards you. Several bats fly out. And eventually, rocks and boulders start coming in as the cave starts collapsing in. I need you both to start running.
Yeah.
But first, give me a dexterity save.
Okay. All right.
Oh. I was about to say I was ready to leave you behind, but we got the same roll.
Twinsies! Yes!
Holding hands. What did you got? 19? What did you get, Wallace?
19's across the board, yes.
You two just holding hands as you are both running, and it is kind of funny because technically Barnaby is slowing himself down, but it's just like the very tail end on your very heels and hooves. The ground is giving way and just becoming pinched. As every quarter that you run down, every corner that you pass, and every angle that you turn, you are just on the very end of this cave-in. Eventually, Lailai and Coh'Jak are able to hear it too. The last thing, as you are both wrapped in this veil with several others, they press their hands against the glass, looking at both of you and just kind of going back and forth as if they're trapped in there. Lailai, you hear a voice. You know, you're going to have to let us out of this soon, right? Another voice to Coh'Jak. You're going to have to break it, my friend. You're going to have to break it. A third voice.
Please, it's the only way.
Lailai, can you do me a favor?
Yes?
Are you hearing voices?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good. Well, at least we're hearing voices together.
Huh.
Do we break?
Barnaby and Wallace run into the room.
Nope, don't want to go that way.
Yep, I understand. Let's pause, catch our breath, and then Barnaby would reach over and kind of wipe a little bit of the dust off of Wallace's cheek with his thumb.
You have to break it.
We haven't break it.
So next time, what do we do when we sense that there's a cave in?
You know,
It didn't stop.
Oh, I see.
As the four of you in here, the interior of this place starts to give way as well. As you've all discovered, based upon the other rooms you've been in, they've seemed to have been reinforced somewhat. Possibly take into consideration of this. As Lailai immediately recalls the first smell she had when she walked in here. Black powder. As this room starts to crumble and collapse, you see bits of the rock start to fall away and hit the giant magical device. The rocks fall as it hits the crystal and breaks apart. The crystal remains intact.
I would like to attack the crystal.
All right.
I would like to also attack the crystal.
All right. How would y'all like to do this?
just to double check, we don't hear anything while they're wrapped in the light. We're just kind of lost. We're watching them glow as golden angels. And we're just like, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't like that before.
Were they always this glowy?
Character development.
Right?
Our combined intelligence is a +0. That's all I'm saying. Like,
It's true. It's true.
It's not wrong.
right now there's a very rocks falls and everybody dies situation going on. How are Lailai and Coh'Jak attacking this giant crystal?
I'm gonna slash out with my packed weapon.
I am going to. I'm going to use Shillelagh.
All right, both using magical weapons, I take it. All right, and you both strike it. As your shillelagh looks like his the glaive, right?
It looks like a glaive, yeah, but it looks like a rusted version of it. It does not
Wonderful.
look the way that it looks now.
In unison, you both attack the opposite sides in your golden shroud. Unlike the heavy boulders that hit it before, only to be destroyed themselves, you both go right through this crystal, immediately releasing all of the magic inside of it. And in just that moment, Barnaby, a lost love comes to mind. Lailai, your entire party comes immediately to the forefront of your head. Wallace, something is hurting your head. You've done it now, haven't you? Congratulations. Coh'Jak, memories of the dead fill your head. Names, faces, scents, taste, the way that their hands felt. It all comes back in a single collective blow upon all of you. If this is happening to the four of you, the entire world immediately has a cathartic moment of mourning as the room continues to fall apart around you all.
I think for a split second, one second, only the one, Coh'Jak looks at Lailai with utter guilt and almost an apology written on his face. Before they turn around and say, "Let's get out of here."
Lailai hesitates. Lailai hesitates.
I cannot blame them. Lailai. I reach out my hand. We can talk about it later, but we need to go. Please. I can't lose you two.
You're dead.
Yes. I'm dead. In a sense.
Lailai takes the hand.
And immediately we're rushing towards whatever doesn't look like it's collapsing.
You're rushing towards where exactly?
Is there an exit?
Is there anywhere that's not collapse?
Well, here's the situation in the room. The crystal now being cracked is starting to kind of like, but it's like magic. As that's happening, you see the devices, the touchpads, the big boys, the glowing pods in the corners all start to slowly sort of depower. The last thing that seems to be reacting now that the crystal's becoming the crystal was broken is that window is getting smaller and smaller.
Can we still see people through the window?
I don't think anyone tried to look through the window to see if anyone is through it.
We looked.
Yeah.
Shall we go through the window? Window, anyone?
We're going through the window.
Yeah, I assume.
Apologies to Wallace. Yeah.
As it gets closer,
Yeah.
and it gets smaller as it gets
Yeah, we're going
closer
through the
together.
window.
Wallace would have, Barnaby would have let go of Wallace's hand and just said, Amada, I have to find her. And he charges for the window.
What?
And he
then-
looks back and says, I'm sorry. And then just whoop, right into the window.
The last couple of rocks start falling as a few of them are able to make it inside of the crystal and fall into the pool of like magic that's left in. As it hit, it has sort of like this splash effect as kind of like a giant boulder falling into magma as the rest of the magic kind of spills out, pouring into the room, hitting a spark, causing a fire, even more rocks starting to fall. The window is getting smaller. Who's next?
Wallace is gonna just everything that's just been taken in just so suddenly, and then seeing how Barnaby reacted and how he took off. There's a hint of sadness, but it's very quick because Wallace has to immediately remembers what the hell is going on, and he just darts off toward Barnaby, and as a result, the window, and just darts through it.
Who's next?
As Lailai takes my hand, without a second thought, I grab them and I make sure they go through the window first.
Lailai?
Mm-hmm.
You accept this?
The player does. The character doesn't. So it happens because the player thinks it should happen.
Okay.
The character doesn't like that it's happening.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I love this. Yes,
Wonderful.
I consent.
I consent.
don't.
Lailai does not.
Okay, so you've all jumped into this window right before it completely depowered, and everything else around you probably got pulverized. You all have this simultaneous experience of going through the window, but it's the you feel like it's going to be immediate, but you're actually going through it for quite a while. There's this sort of free-falling feeling with no air. The entire pressure of a whole universe being just thrusted right against you as your body, your atoms are trying to find some way to squeeze in. Out of the four of you, Wallace probably feels the most... How would you describe it?
It's compressing. It's like I'm feeling my brain being weighed down and my heart being weightless to the point where it's just, they're both just trying to like meet right in the center. And I don't know how to comprehend that feeling. That is it pain? Is it numbness? I can't tell. It's very hard to think. It's very hard to breathe. But at the same time, I'm having all the thoughts, and my nasal passages are just as clear as ever. It's paradoxical. That's the only word that feels right to describe it. And I don't know if I enjoy it, or if I should, or if I should hate it.
And this isn't the first time Wallace experienced this before.
Unfortunately not.
You hear a voice in your head. You're the first one to probably compose themselves. The room you end up in, smoky, sparking. You hear echoes from sounds you can't quite decipher if they are made by someone or something or just the causality of your surroundings. The voice in your head. I can't see anything. Why can't I see anything, Wallace?
I honestly can't make heads or tails of what's going on right now.
What happened? Where are you?
I had to.
Where are you, Wallace?
I don't know. Last thing I remember, Barnaby.
Keep your friend safe, Wallace. Don't die on me now. I'd love to see you again. Come back. Eventually, the four of you all come to. Same room. Smoky. Sparking. Bigger versions of the devices you saw back then completely fill the room. A giant banner behind them with letters that spell out Kyle, Ethan, Ivan. Another banner besides that, Governor. An identical one to the Governor one on every corner of the room. Eventually, the ringing in your ears slowly subside as the echoes form into voices. Brief calls, chants, move, down, down, here they come. Finally, a different voice from above. Who are you? Did Reba send you? The smoke eventually clears as you see 8 figures in total. 5 wearing the same uniforms as the ones in the back. 2 in what appears to be not as tactical or anything martial. And 1 more that kind of stands in front of them all. Hair kind of flat, lifeless, but with a shade of goldenrod. Eyes with a very low, piercing yet pale blue. They wear a simple button shirt, suspenders, nothing too fancy. The way that they hold themselves seems that they might be someone of high regard or maybe nobility, but the way they kind of move amongst these other figures in uniformed or in some sort of garb of service or duty. Very casual. They are obviously there to support this person. Coh'Jak. This person ain't alive. None of them are.
I hold my glaive at the ready.
They have weapons! Hold. I want to know. Did Reba send you? The voice says, calling down to you.
Barnaby looks up, completely forgetting about the others in the party, saying, "Enough about Reba, where is Amada?"
Barnaby, as you step forward saying this, you come through a cloud of smoke and debris. And I don't think it hits you, but you realize that most of this crew that's in front of you calling down to you all kind of react in a way upon seeing you. You aren't able to make out the murmurs and like the hushed orders or comments that they're making to each other. But you definitely did make an impression.
Barnaby, if you just remembered a motto right now, then they're dead. And
Shut
I'm
up,
guessing they're not
Coh'Jak.
like this
Shut
kind
up,
of dead.
Coh'Jak. No, absolutely not. Where is Amada? And then Barnaby would just get a little.
Barnaby, what's your AC?
Oh, jeez.
You did this to
13.
yourself.
After a loud pop, you see a spark come from above. It's one of the guards launches something at you, and it strikes you right in the chest. On the left side, take 4 points of piercing damage.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I said, hold! Now, listen, this is the last time, whatever you are. Who are you? Or at least tell me who sent you.
I'm
smoke
the person
eventually-
looking for Amada, and he won't say anything else. Just Amada, Amada, Amada.
The smoke eventually clears, giving all of you away from any type of clearing to hide through. After Barnaby stands and makes his declaration of a lost love's name repeatedly, you see the figure up top give you most of the directions. Their lips, although kind of non-existent and very chapped, their skin just seems to be very sunken in. There is no loose flesh on this person. Okay. They creak up into a side smile, and they laugh. Keep that one when you're done. Kill the others as they turn and leave. I need you all to roll for initiative.
Can I just ask for my sake?
What you thinking?
Yes. Would you consider them to be ashy?
Oh,
No, I do not consider them to be ashy. Now, this is... Now, ashiness, not on a sense of poor behavior, nor on the sense of lack of moisturizer. Mm-hmm. However, they seem to have been tanned without actually being tanned.
Oh, this is good to know. This is useful information.
This is interesting.
Let's get these initiative rolls.
All right. Heading up the front, we got Coh'Jak with a nat 20, making it a 22.
And I have a dirty 20.
Ooh.
I
20.
have a 15.
22, 15.
16 for the angsty boy, which is how he's acting right now, is 16.
Angsty baby.
It's like Ariel. I'm 16, Daddy. I love him.
You can't marry someone you just met.
Try me.
All right. All right. So we have for initiative Coh'Jak for 22, Wallace with 20, Barnaby with 16, and Lailai with 15. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let's do this. Is the initiative up?
Yeah.
Cool. Yes.
Oh, it's
All right,
with two ends.
Coh'Jak, what are you up to, my friend?
Okay, set the scene for me. There's a balcony, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got a man.
Instead of the balcony, think you are all in a room, let's say 50 by 50. Behind you, you got your back against the wall. You are in what looks like to be a mid-size landing pad, testing pad.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is some distance away, not away from you, but up. Each story, let's go 1, 2, 3 stories up. A pair of stairs from where you guys are standing to your left and your right. Each sets of stairs will take you each level up to get to them.
So what we're kind of seeing is like an amphitheater.
Exactly.
Nice. Nice.
You're all on stage.
I would like Kyle, who I think is within 60 feet of me, to make a dex saving throw.
All right. 17.
That does beat it. So I think nothing happens.
What did you attempt to do?
I attempted to cast Sacred Flame.
Okay. And for you, is that just like launching your glowy?
It's so remember how I talked about the best Marvel television show of all time last session? Everybody looks at me like they hate me, and you know what? They're right. But
No, I don't need to do any training.
damn, when that news came out, I was like, that makes sense, actually.
Even Green Lantern got it. So I'm sorry.
That man was wearing a CGI suit, and he still did training.
He was Gumby. All right.
I aim my glaive, and the light within my hand coalesces and then shoots down the glaive like it's like a super speed sort of bullet, really, of light. Pushes right out of the front of the glaive and misses.
As it heads up, and as this Kyle, Ethan, Ivan character is walking away, they kind of turn as they feel just the very edge of this radiant bullet just kind of graze the side of their cheek and hit the wall in front of them.
Don't tell me you're leaving so soon.
They stop and laugh. Kill that one first. Of the 8 in total, Kyle, Ethan, Ivan walks back with one of the guards and the full-on armor. 2 in the coats head to one side, as the other 4 of the guards head to the opposite side. The last one heading with Kyle, Ethan, Ivan grabs something out of a nearby pack, unrolls it in front of the door before opening the door as Kyle, Ethan, Ivan walks out. Wallace.
So I imagine that during that entire situation, Wallace was still a bit out of it, going in a bit groggy. Then the moment that he saw Barnaby react the way that he did, and then seeing whoever it was that was ordering these individuals around react the way that they did once their minions opened fire on Barnaby. He had to visibly hold back upon seeing him get hurt. And then the moment that he started walking away and all of his people started coming around, the mightiest scowl that has ever graced Wallace's face just presents itself. And he takes out his axe again. He doesn't set it ablaze, but he stands up, and whatever individual is immediately close to Barnaby, Wallace just immediately just lashes out, just takes a swing at his axe with it.
Are you running towards them?
Yes.
Cool. They are going to be some distance away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a ranged attack?
I do.
Okay. If you would like to run up the first sets of stairs, or if you want to try to jump a few.
I am a hooved individual. I don't believe in jumping. However, I have something specifically for this situation that I absentmindedly used last time, but have all the benefit of the doubt that it'll work out a lot better this time. We're going to do another we're going to do another firebolt.
All right. Aimed at any of the guards or
Yeah.
Kyle, Ethan, Ivan?
The gods. And that's
Cool.
a natural 19.
That hits. Roll for damage, my friend.
That would be 11
Whew.
damage.
Describe this to me.
So, with a as he's passing Barnaby, running up the stairs, he pushes his hands back, and he has his head tilted down, and past his sunglasses, you can see the glare, the glow in his eyes, the same way as the energy just radiates from his hand, and he just pushes it out, and then there's just this immediate, just like fiery energy beam that radiates, that takes on the illusion of like a roaring dragon's maw, as it just like hits him straight in the face.
Oh my goodness. The immediate pushback engulfs their very like stone colored with blue trim uniforms, singed, burnt right through the armor and what kind of pad protection it had. And this is the same one that shot Barnaby as they drop their ranged weapon and they fall forward over the balcony onto the floor, taken out.
Good. And if there's any nearby, if there's any other individuals nearby, Barnaby, shit, Wallace is just going to dot his head toward him. The next one that touches him will have the same fate. Try me.
Ooh, like it. And take advantage on your next attack. All right. Next up, it's the remaining guards. We have 3 more with long weapons, and they are going to take their aim. Now that Wallace has gotten closer, those 3 are going to focus fire on Wallace. First attack is going to be 12 to hit. Second one is going to be 14 to hit. Last one's going to be 7 to hit.
Doesn't hit shield.
Wonderful. They see this, and it's that kind of moment of all of them just kind of like taking position, taking aim, fire, and just seeing that nothing's happening, and this bull is still charging. And they just kind of look down at their weapons and look back up, then look back down, drop the weapons, and start running back, just taking a different position with the remaining movement. As the 2 and the coats and goggles look over at the rest of you down below, taking heed from the early order from Kyle, Ethan, Ivan, are going to aim at Coh'Jak. Coh'Jak, I need you to first give me a wisdom save.
That's an 8.
Woo!
Is this a spell?
Wonderful. Yes, it is. Do you have something, Lailai?
No. You know what? I don't have something. I have Dispel Magic, which is an after effect. It is not an at effect.
I have
So never
counterspell, but I'm out of spell slots. So
I do not have Counterspell.
I should have short rested before coming here.
Oh,
You know what? That would have been
Always.
that sounded like a great idea. I'm so sad that we didn't get a chance to do that. We had all the time in the world to do it too. Why couldn't we just think ahead before we went into this?
Because the whole cavern was falling down in our heads. I feel like that might have gotten in the way.
Tomato, potato.
Anyways,
Short rest, 30 seconds, right?
how much?
Enough for a juice box. Purple stuff. Okay, long rest.
Yes!
Yes! It's just corn syrup. All right. Coh'Jak, You immediately see 3 more enemies appear. One very close by next to you.
Great.
And one going up the stairs, and one a little bit in front of you. Lailai, give me a wisdom save as well.
17.
Wonderful.
I am wise.
I am so wise.
I'm Lailai. I have 17.
You sound just like. You sound just like.
Yeah, that's just right.
That's Lailai's catchphrase. Make some T-shirts with them on them, just like I got a 17.
Got a 17.
Lailai, as these 2 nerds fall back, take a mix of chemicals from a nearby table, and they lob 2 towards Coh'Jak and yourself. You see Coh'Jak's eyes sort of sharpen as they turn to you, and the glaive is pointed in your direction. Kyle, Ethan, Ivan is still laughing as they head out the door, with a mat now placed right before them and the door held open. They step on the map and wipe their feet before heading through, and the doors close behind them. And that's their turn. Next up is Barnaby.
How far away from me is Wallace and then the nearest guard to Wallace?
Wallace is 25 feet away from you, and the nearest guard is going to be 25 feet vertically up away from you.
Okay. Barnaby would make his way up to that guard and pause briefly next to Wallace on his way and says, Wallace, you know when I have their attention. You know I love that. And we kind of bump him on the elbow and then go be a main character and chase the guards down.
Are you going to try to climb up for quicker access? Or
oh, hell yeah, I'm going to climb. Is that acrobatics or athletics?
You tell me.
Athletics it is. Oh, damn. Nat 20 plus 6. I got a 26.
Yes!
Okay.
Why? These are the only time I roll well is when I'm like flexing that I want to look hot for somebody. And I think that's on brand.
Yeah.
You know, I want all eyes on me.
You do an instant transmission. It's just lines are just drawn from where you are, and the lines are drawn, and then you just appear on top. You have your full action and bonus action readily granted to you, and I'll even give you, I'll give you that. You right next to all the the guards that took shots at you. What would you like to do, my friend?
I'm gonna use my 1 F-bomb and rage. And then Barnaby's gonna be like, hey fuckers, and then hit him with an axe. It's my one F-bomb. I'm sorry, I had to cash it in.
Right, PG-13 rules, got it.
On TBS, it's hey fudgers.
It's true.
Hey friends and family.
And when Barnaby rages, he's incredibly angry, but he definitely says it with like a low voice. And he's like, and then he swings his axe at the nearest one.
All right. Roll.
Oh my God. Rest in pieces, these men. Nat 20 yet again. These, rest in pieces.
Max damage.
Oh God. So that's 25. Oh. Yeah.
They turn to a mist of whatever they were.
Rest in pieces, those guys. Rest in liquid, I guess, if they're mist.
Anything else for this turn?
Barnaby would take some of that bloodstain and slick his hair back.
How many attacks do you get?
I think rage gives me another bonus attack. I could use it, but I'm covered in mist. I could.
Oh, okay.
It could use it, but slick back.
That's pushback. You call that slip back? Lailai, it's your turn.
Sorry, blood is officially now Barnaby's hair gel brand of choice.
We're gonna have to work on that.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it's a
Lailai,
lovely reddish tinge.
You've seen his hair color.
Okay. Enough Barnaby and more Barnaby.
Oh, I'm mad at myself for laughing.
It only makes me stronger. All right, what is Lailai getting into?
Please, tell me if there is metal. What metal is in this room?
So much. Give me a free nature check, please.
A free nature check. Well, I have a +0. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's a 19. It's a 19.
19. Your experience from leaving the plane you were just on to this one, it's getting off a plane in a completely different time zone after a 3+ hour flight. The sun might not even be in the same place. It could be one of those things where you leave in the afternoon, now it's morning. The entire environment is just off. The first thing that Lailai notices is the distinct lack of natural weave occurring in this world. If Lailai were to walk into a room and sense every living organism and kind of feel it, and just like not even like the magic, but just that life force energy, hear nothing.
Does Lailai have a connection to their own magic?
Yes. And it's seen displayed by both Wallace and even Coh'Jak to a certain extent. Your magic is still intact. However, you're not sure to what extent.
Okay. What weapons are these people holding?
Sorry. To answer your question, everything's metal. Yes.
Everything.
The stairs, the guardrails going up, the floor that you're on, the platform that you're on, the walls, metal and concrete. But their weapons, they dropped their long weapons. But even upon their apparel, parts of their armor, the padding, you see a few buttons, buckles, pens. It's all over you. Or not all over you, all over the place, rather.
All over them. Are we on the same floor as they are?
They are still up.
They are up one?
They're up a few, but it's like there's stairs you can run up.
Yeah. So if I were to, I don't know, make one red hot, make the floor red hot, that would not be pleasant.
Ooh, what's the space on that? What's the area of effect?
Well, I mean, it doesn't say. Choose a manufactured metal object, such as a metal weapon or a suit of heavy or medium metal armor that you can see within range.
But not like metal room.
Yeah, it doesn't say metal room.
Heat Gundam.
You laugh, but that was probably a G Gundam in actuality.
It was burning Gundam.
Exactly. There you go. Shining finger and everything.
Yeah. These fingers burn with justice and they will end you.
Yes.
Hold my hand.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I love G Gundam so much. It's like yum yum Gundam shonen. You gonna eat that up?
Nobody asked for Street Fighter Gundam, but they delivered.
They gave it.
11-year-old me needed that show.
Yes.
If you are going to use heat metal, the buttons and belt buckles are fair play. as well as their helmets too.
Helmets seem fun. Let's go with that.
That's where their faces are.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
You can't talk. You killed a bat earlier, and that was way worse.
At the moment, Lailai doesn't really have a face. Lailai is just sort of storm cloud crystal. Because they're not anyone, so they are, and they're just reflecting their emotions right now. So storm cloud crystal is where they're at. Yes. What I'd like to do is cast what I've called Forge.
All right, and yes. There are two guards with the long weapons left. The two in the back that threw stuff at you and Coh'Jak are on your side of the room. Up. You can aim for one of them.
I would like to do that, please.
Cool. What do I need to roll? Constitution save?
If they can't drop it or take it off, actually they can take it off. It just might take time. Yes, that's a con save.
And that's 10 for Constitution. So their pants are on fire. What a liar!
Oh dear.
Anything else for Lailai's turn?
No. Lailai's going to look at Coh'Jak, but isn't going to do anything about it.
But just look at him. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Coh'Jak, you have one enemy close by, two that ran back up. There's one at the top. That one was attacked by one at the bottom, but there's another one behind them, as well as two others that are fighting another enemy. There's enemies all around.
You know what there isn't everywhere, though?
What's that?
That jackass that said, kill them first.
There's
only one of them, and they scurried behind a door. And if I'm surrounded by enemies, what does it matter if I just charge forward? Worst comes to worst, they strike me down. But at least I can take that bastard with me.
Sounds good.
I'm going to charge forward, and I'm going to spend my action to dash.
All right, 60 feet up.
70 feet. I have a walking speed of 35.
Go on, big man, go on. Coh'Jak strides on up to the top, and you're able to make it to the door as you head up. The one that inflicted you with this sort of hazy eyes kind of gets out of your way and makes room for you. As you are able to come to the door, that the guard that escorted Kyle, Ethan, Ivan up, and they are standing there, not with a weapon ready, but just in front of the door.
I can't attack.
You cannot.
I can't.
Would you like to end up right next to them or some distance away from them?
Oh, if they want, if they're in the door, I'm going to the door. If they're in the way, they're in the way.
All right. And next up, we're going to have Wallace.
Oh, may I say?
Yes.
The person wearing the helmet would take 2d8 fire damage.
Oh, shoot. Roll for damage.
That's 3.
3 points of damage on one of them. Yeah, they're having a hard time taking their pants off because it's too hot. The belt's too hot. We've all been there before, folks, haven't we? Hey, someone lit your belt on fire when you're trying to open up a portal to a different dimension. You know how it is. Wednesday.
I was about to say. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, we're doing it on Wednesday now. Did you get the memo?
Oh, no.
We left it in your belt buckle.
Ah, that's why I still thought it was Tuesday.
Y'all have some weird days compared to me.
You are dead.
What's Wallace up to?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Barnaby advanced a level higher than I currently am, correct? Or are we still like are we still
I just muted myself before I said that. There's a 10-foot difference.
Okay.
It's like at a baseball stadium
Gotcha.
where Barnaby's on G and you're on D.
Gotcha. Okay. How many of the gods are immediately are within my vicinity?
You are. Well, there's just one more left, and that's right next to Barney. You could go for that one, but you also have the two that were attacking Lailai and Coh'Jak still within range of your ranged attacks.
Okay. Understanding and calming a bit down after getting the shoulder nudge from Barnaby. I'm gonna give Barnaby a look as if to silently say, "You good?"
Oh, we're good. We're great.
And if that's the case, then Wallace is going to give another nod, and Lailai is still on the ground level, right? So I'm technically above them. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to dash back down and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm upon dashing back down. I am immediately within 20 feet of the individuals that are surrounding Lailai. Correct?
There's no one down next to Lailai.
Oh, that's what I was asking. So it's like, who? So would I have to go back downstairs in order to attack the individuals that you were talking about?
There's Barnaby 10 feet away from you, and Barn is on the last one of the ones who are shooting at him.
Right.
Still up top are the two that were throwing things down to Coh'Jak and Lailai.
Gotcha. Okay.
Coh'Jak ran up, Lailai's still at the bottom.
Okay.
Most of you are up top right now.
So what you're saying is that there's still two more above me.
Yes.
Okay. And how far would I have to move to get to them?
20 or so feet. You still have to go up a bit and then over. So right around 35 feet or so. But you still have a long range weapon or a long range attack. So
so what I'm thinking is that however I can get there is as long as I'm within 20 feet, I'm going to dash to get to them. And then once I arrive where they are, that allows me to use my goring rush.
There it is.
Immediately after you use the dash action on your turn and move at least 20 feet, you can make one melee attack with your horns as a bonus action.
Wonderful. All right, do it, my friend. Would you like to do the one that Lailai already hit, or the one that's still fresh?
The one that's still fresh.
Sounds good. All right, roll for it, my friend.
That's an 18.
18 hits.
And that's 9 piercing damage.
You pierce them, and it's one of those things where you get them, and you know that you got them, and you feel it, and it's just sort of that light resistance as you first break through and penetrate, and then that sort of crunch once you get into it and kind of push it up against. And then when you're finally ready to lift your head up, you look up and there's just nothing there, and you still just got like leg in front of your head, and it's like, oh, it's still in your head, kind of like that. So you kill them.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I'm just going to just like do a violent because let's just face it, I'm a bull, so I'm just going to just buck a bit and just Fabio the motherfucker off my horn.
All right, that's two. That's 2 Fs. That's 2. We gotta let the studio know. TV 14.
And
TVMA.
And then I just stare daggers at the one that Lailai hit, and I just let out a snort. But instead of smoke, instead of steam, it's literal flames.
And they are terrified, and they're still trying to take their pants off, but they're really scared about it now. Like, in the sense of, like, it's really, like, my pants are hot, and my hands are hot, and I'm scared, and now you're hot. This is just weird all over. Not that kind of hot. Maybe that kind of hot. I'm learning something about myself. I'm kind of going through a lot right now. In the weirdest places.
I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me as I die.
Oh, that's my Oh no. Speaking of NXX, was gonna go back to I Need You Tonight. We have the guards that are left, and at this point we have just the one still facing off at Barnaby, and they are going to they're gonna do that Henry Cavill thing where they're gonna like just drop the projectile weapon they had and like take off their jacket with the pad, and they got some arms too, and they're gonna cut their arms, and they're gonna try to box Barnaby, and the person they're gonna swing, and they hit Barnaby with an 18 with an unarmed attack. This is only going
a
to
bludgeoning?
That is a bludgeoning attack.
Ooh, I have resistance to that while I'm angry.
So they just hype themselves up and they just launch an attack, and this just their strength modifier. So they hit you with a 3, and they're filling that good 3 with like a heavy kind of like side jab to the sandbag, and you're just kind of like,
No.
They realize their mistake. The one guard in front of the door is facing off at the Coh'Jak, and they're having this sort of weird thing about you as they're just kind of looking you up and down. They don't give off any sort of sense of panic like everyone else. Cool and composed as they're scanning you up and down, and even they kind of like whisper over to you. So did Reva really send you?
Coh'Jak isn't even breathing.
You see them kind of like smirk, and they stand up away from the door, and they start heading back down the stairs if you allow them. Do you allow them?
I mean, there's only other enemies down there. What's the worst that could happen? I don't care.
From behind their hand, they take out another weapon, a much smaller one than the long one that they had before and shot Barnaby with. And as they come around to the side where Wallace is, they aim it at the guard that's still putting their belt. They're still trying to take their belt off. A single pop. That guard drops. And they continue to walk down. The last remaining guard that's up against Barnaby doesn't even notice that this one just put the other one down. They keep walking. That ends the guard's turn as it turns to Barnaby.
So Barnaby has his axe in one hand and says, it's cute when you guys your size try stuff like that. Drops his axe and bust a claw out. We're gonna go hand to hand together. And he slashes out with his claw, hopefully non-lethal, because Barnaby likes to play with his food and has questions.
We'll see.
Oh my Jesus Christ. Nat 20.
Max damage. Sashimi. I have questions. Fuck.
Might as well rename this the Hibachi Kingdom at this point.
Oh,
that could be the Hibachi Himbo. That would be a really good gladiator stage name. So that would be whatever 8 plus 3 is. I'm gay and can't do math. 11.
Yeah, they drop.
Damn, I
They-
wanted it to
and-
be non-lethal. That's okay.
And it was just like one of those things where you got them right against the chest to kind of like, so they can kind of like grab like a bit of the blood from the scratch and lick it and kind of like, all right, we're doing this. But like your index kind of strayed a bit and it got them like right underneath like the jugular. So immediately it's just kind of like, they don't bleed out. It's not blood. It is a like a dark it's more clay-ish color, like a dark clay, than it is like the liquid spraying or like a Tarantino-esque of like, you know, blood. But it does pour, and this ichor leaks. And as they kind of look at you, Barnaby, and they just kind of nod. They seem satisfied with the send against someone like you.
Barnaby would kneel and just be really quick and be like, my apologies, and then just close his eyes for him, just a little. And I'm calling that my turn.
And on that, we end initiative with the guards. As the last guard lays down and Barnaby closes their eyes for them, like all the others, they're reduced to ash. Whether burnt or by other means, their remains all remain the same. I gotta write that down. That's a good rhyme. So, I leave it to you all. The door where you can only assume this Kyle Ethan Ivan character left out of is right in front of you all, and you are almost all at the top. Who would like to go through first? Coh'Jak?
First of all, do I see... Are my friends no longer fake guards, or are they still...
Everything comes back to normal. All the conditions you've had upon you are now dropped.
I look back. Good work, everyone. And then I kick the door open.
The door kicks open, and it's kind of weird because there is a very long welcome mat that extends out into this testing site that you're all in. Underneath the door, across the threshold, and you kick it open. And instead of like another hallway to probably leave out of this facility, you see a large enclosure. It looks outside. Except it's just vast and empty. Grass is very short. Looks like it's been freshly cut. And in the center of this large sort of like cylindrical space, you see a single tower, a watchtower. Starts off broad at the center and narrows in just a bit, reaches 5 stories high. At the top, you see Kyle Ethan Ivan slowly walking up, appearing to be loading another one of those long weapons as you enter. And Coh'Jak, if you were to look back at the door you just walked through, you'd notice that it does not have any walls on either sides. Welcome! I hope you made yourself comfortable, the voice says from up top. And we're going to stop right there. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed listening and watching. Before we go, I'm going to do a quick run through and hello from all of our players. So starting in reverse, Northern Ali, can you do a goodbye first?
Goodbye first. My name is Northern Ali. My pronouns are he, him. You can catch me online on all the things at Werewolf Feels. If you want to see my Instagram, sure, why not? It's not fun, but, you know.
It's homework.
I take pictures of your math questions, and I demand you answer them for me. Join me. Anyway.
I love it.
We'll see you next week. I have been Coh'Jak, pronouns he, they, your dead warlock. Surprise!
No, it's not.
Okay, it's a surprise to them.
Okay.
Just because you knew does not mean that they knew.
Laurent's just snitching that he definitely used to shake all of his Christmas and birthday presents to figure out what they were.
I did. That wasn't even planned. That actually happened.
Y'all, your
Wow.
presents were wrapped? You got boxes? Damn.
Courtney, go next.
Hi, and also bye, because this is the end of episode 2. I'm Courtney, aka Sparkly Kiss, everywhere online. I'm still streaming Nancy Drew games. I'm still crying because they're very spooky. And I played Barnaby, pronouns he, him, and maybe he could be Polly? We'll find out next time.
More like Clawley. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'm gonna feed off of that pun for the rest of my life.
Oh, please don't.
Laurent,
It was
go.
delicious.
Empty calories.
Say
Hi, I'm Laurent. Pronouns he, him. I play Wallace, the soft moo, but sometimes angry moo. Also he, him, who is a fighter that has a very fiery disposition when certain individuals get hurt.
Wallace wants you to move out of the way.
Oh, God.
Okay, y'all go now.
You can find me everywhere.
Finally, a worse joke. I can return.
You can find me at most places at Readus101. That's READUS, the number 1, the number 0, the number 1, _ on Twitter, straight through on YouTube. That's where you'll find me most.
He's one fine bovine.
I actually appreciate that one. I appreciate that one.
I'm Chantel B, and I have problems with puns. My pronouns are they, them. Lailai's the little crystal storm cloud that they are. Pronouns are they, them. You can find me on Twitter at Chantel B. You can find everything I do. I do a lot of stuff in my bio because there's a link tree. I mean, maybe I'll be back, but there's so many puns. So many. So many.
Gotta draw the line somewhere.
Okay. I promise.
Druid is the one who
episode-
keeps us grounded.
Okay.
I try. Oh.
Thank you.
All right. Next episode, if we remember, for every pun, your character takes 1 point of damage.
I'm ready to die.
Psychic damage.
If a DM makes a pun, everyone gets initiative. If we remember that
Lailai's already
rule.
Paralyzed.
So,
I like to argue inspiration, maybe?
Instead of initiative, we just get initiative.
We just get it.
you just roll for initiative.
We just get to go faster so that we can pun more. It'll be the pun
Joining
run.
us for Dice Friends. We were playing Alabaster Kingdom. Thank you for being our Dice friends. We're nice friends, and we'll see you next time. So until then, be kind, be safe, and be yourself.